Whoa. Hey guys, happy Sunday rest day. So we're answering the question that I left for you guys on my last rest day, which was, why is sugar one of the most anabolic things you can eat, right? Why is sugar, granulated fructose, whatever you want, artificial, not artificial, but in general, sugar itself that has calories with it, one of the most anabolic things you can put in your body? So there were a lot of good answers, but nor was I expecting somebody to list all of the reasons in a single comment, because there's a lot of reasons to it. So I kind of touched on this yesterday a little bit when I was talking about getting a bunch of donuts on the way to the gym. That was more for me, but let's just say it was foreshadowing a wee bit. Now, let's start with the basics. Glycogen, right? So our bodies need, when you're really training, you're trying to get big, and I mean, big, it needs sugar. Sugar is the fastest form of glycogen that our bodies can actually absorb and utilize. And when you're trying to put some size on, that's really important, because it gives us this fuel source that can be rapidly absorbed. So, big fan of that, because when you have all that extra fuel, it allows your body to push a lot harder in the gym. You get a better pump, and when you have a better pump, well, that glycogen in the muscle, what happens is your muscle grows two different ways. Some grow better with a pump, not people, and some grow better with actually ripping and tearing. Once again, not some people, just different muscle fibers in different muscles respond better different ways. I gotta put these sunglasses on because it's gonna keep blinded my little baby blues. So that's a little better. We gotta shut this too. That's better. All right, we're good. So you have the glycogen that's allowing your body to pump up your muscles a lot more. And what happens is that glycogen swells. It swells in the muscle when you pump it up, but you need to continue to replenish it, because the second you stop replenishing it, the muscle's going to use what it has stored in there. And then your muscles that were once full and big now begin to flatten out a little bit. That's what flat muscles really are. Your muscles that you see all round and looking good, looking sharp, you're not just looking at muscle. You're looking at muscle full of glycogen. That's why after I was sick, my muscles, to my eyes, looked flatter than they once were. Because it's not that I lost any muscle mass. I didn't lose any muscle, but they were empty. My muscle cells were empty, where normally they're just full of a ludicrous amount of glycogen, So now what else? Besides the glycogen, you have insulin. Now, I'm not talking about taking insulin. I'm talking about your body's natural response to produce insulin when sugar in particular is present in the bloodstream. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself, but John, why would you want to produce too much insulin, right? Well, the hormone itself, insulin, is genuinely one of the most anabolic hormones there are in the world. So when you use it for good instead of evil, you can get a lot out of it. When I was talking before about my blood sugar, it was a little bit low, because sometimes it drops once in a while. If my body doesn't metabolize that meal a little bit too quickly, it released too much insulin, and my blood sugar just gets a little finicky. But you can use that to your advantage sometimes. Excuse me. I'm not even talking about that. But when your body has extra insulin present in the system, your appetite is through the roof, because your body just needs to get whatever it can to satiate what's going on in your blood. And in turn, you can get a lot more calories in a lot quicker. Now, what else is great about insulin itself is insulin is the transport hormone in the body, meaning that all of your amino acids trying to go to the muscle, all the cortisol trying to go to your brain, everything trying to get anywhere. On the good side, that's all responsible because of insulin. Think of insulin as the 18-wheelers you see driving down the parkway, right? They're getting everything you need from one place to another. And without them, everything would collapse. So if you're trying to put on muscle and get amino acids to, let's just say, your biceps after a great workout, right? But you have no insulin present in your system, then how's it going to get there? You know, if your amino acids are your building blocks, right? Your building blocks made of brick, trying to build a home with them, and all of a sudden, you have this pile of bricks in the quarry, but no way to get them to the house that you're trying to build. It's like, well, you know, are you going to carry them one at a time? Or do you think it'd be easier with a truck? Because the only difference between bricks and amino acids is that amino acids expire in the body, and they go bad pretty quickly too. Because protein and heat doesn't mix too well, and our bodies are about 100 degrees all day, every day. So you have glycogen, you have insulin. Another reason is calories, right? When you have, that's always a, not a risky intersection, but not intersection, you know what I mean? Like pivot onto a ramp. But it's always like, let's cross 3 lanes of traffic in 30 feet. But we did, baby. Just always a tight one. And if this person would let me in, okay, we're golden. So anyway, calories itself. What I was talking about yesterday with the sugar and the donuts and all that good stuff is the beauty about sugar is that it's a lot of calories that doesn't take up a lot of stomach capacity. So you can get in, I'm not saying you should eat as much sugar, but 3 times as much sugar, grams wise and calories wise, than you could rice or pasta, things like that, because the rice and pastas all have a significant amount of water inside them as well, so they take up a lot more space in the body. Now, you know, if you ate 100 grams of pure sugar or 100 grams of rice, you put them both in a bowl, you'll see that 100 grams of sugar is significantly less volume than 100 grams of rice, 100 grams of pasta. You know, there was always this, call it a meme, I guess, but it's not really a meme. It's more like a bad informational post where it compared steak and it compared broccoli. And it said, you know, a pound of, let's just say a pound of steak only has 100 grams of protein, right? And a pound of broccoli has like 150. So it was saying, why wouldn't you eat a pound of broccoli over a pound of steak? Yeah, it was a stupid vegan post. It's like, motherfucker, do you have any idea what a pound of broccoli looks like? It's like a mountain of broccoli, which doesn't even have full amino acid profiles, but they haven't figured that out yet. So we're not going to try to even teach them. You know? You're taking this thing that's significantly more volume with a worse amino acid profile and expect to do the same thing, which is just so incorrect. You know? But anyway, in terms of what makes sugar some of the most anabolic properties, those are the big ones for like your day-to-day life. You have your glycogen, you have your insulin, and then you have your calories, right? The last little one, in my opinion, is how fast-acting it is. Because if you use sugar for the right reasons as a fast-acting carbohydrate source, it can do you wonders in the gym. You know, if you ate a bowl of rice in the middle of your workout, it needs to digest, be utilized, synthesized, and absorbed. And it takes a while, especially when your body's in a fight or flight mode when you're training. It's not going to just respond immediately and use it, right? It's going to be the opposite, where it's not really going to be used. It's just going to kind of sit there bogged down in your stomach. But sugar is another story. Sugar in particular, because without the fiber, without the actual starchiness, anything like that, the sugar burns up and absorbs like that immediately, allowing it to get into your muscles really, really quickly because the sugar makes your body produce insulin as well. You're taking something that absorbs super fast, making the body recognize, hey, we have sugar in the body quickly because it knows the sugar is detected so fast. It produces the insulin and it transports the sugar to the muscles where you want it to go immediately. That's why you see some bigger guys always training with like some colorful carbohydrate drink, you know. I like a Gatorade or those replenishes from 7-Eleven. When I'm bulk, which actually thinking about it now, I should probably reincorporate this. I used to get this cyclodextrin carbohydrate powder, which is a bit more of a starchy powder, but over a long period of time, it's good and it works. I would make it with a Gatorade or a Replenish instead of water, and I would put creatine and glutamine in there as well, so that, in my theory, the sugar was making my body release insulin, which then forced it to digest quicker because it knew there was sugar in there. And because things were digesting quicker while I was training in that fight or flight mode, there was glycogen from the cyclodextrin, glutamine, which is great for recovery, and creatine, which is great for swelling of the muscles. All three of those things were present in my body at the same time it was releasing insulin, which would theoretically force it right into the muscle. So that's why when I used to drink those while I was training, and I had like this giant fat shaker, I would just be sipping on it the whole time. It was great. I'm actually gonna have to reincorporate that. I'm glad we spoke about this together because, you know, it's one of those things you stop doing for some random reason. One day you don't pick it back up and you forget about it. So that just jogged my memory a little bit. So thank you. But I'm like Dora the Explorer right now. Thank you, guys. Where's my drink? Do you see my drink? What was that? It's behind the seat. Muy bien. Excelente. That's why we all lost our minds as kids. We were talking to the TV. But that's all right. So on that note, guys, we're going to get off the parkway in a moment. I have to go to the bank. But more important than that, I have to get an egg sandwich. So, if you know me, bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup on a roll. Grab 2 of those. Ordinarily I'd grab a coffee too, but I picked one up beforehand. And they had a maple pancake syrup there, which was new, so I had to try it. It's not bad. It tastes exactly like you'd expect. It tastes like let me paint you a word picture. It tastes like licking the syrup off of the top of an Aunt Jemima bottle, where it's not on your pancakes yet, but you also don't want the cap to stick. It tastes like that, which, I mean, nope, this is not the exit. Which could certainly be worse, you know? So, on that note, guys, once again, when it comes to insulin and sugar, why is sugar one of the most anabolic things you can eat? Insulin, glycogen, calories, and volume of the stomach, while you're allowing it to synthesize immediately, even if your body's in a fight or flight mode while you're training. So let's just say speed too, right? Those are the top points. And on that note, guys, I'm going to stuff my egg, not my eggs, I'm going to stuff my face with some bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup. I'm going to Long Island this day up, and I'll see you tomorrow. What are we going to do tomorrow? Big old back day. We are going to be so wide that the bachelor party I have planned for a buddy of mine in April, they're not even going to be able to put me in the plane. Matter of fact, the wings of the plane are going to collapse, and they're going to throw me out the window to hold on and be the wings of the plane with my lats. And I better start working on my leg days, because if there's no wings, there's no thruster on that plane. So I'm going to have to be kicking like all hell to make that plane go. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.